Hey everyone, this is Adrian from my channel Random Drop. If you like our content, make sure to subscribe. We're more than halfway to 1,000 subscribers. From there, this channel's quality and content can grow quite significantly, and I hope that you stick around. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Monster Hunter Wilds opens with a young man watching a giant creature go berserk in what seems like a cave. He is being carried to safety as the rest of the surrounding group make their attempt to escape, but sadly they find themselves at a dead end as their escape route collapsed. But the boy's caretaker doesn't give up and finds a small opening through the rubble. He then grabs the young man's shoulder and tells him, "Nata, you can escape through here." Nata is confused and asks, "What about everyone else?" And he's simply told, "People out there will help him," and tells him to go on, pushing him through the small passage and sealing it. Nata falls down the pathway and yells for Tashin. We then cut to a survey team exploring the border to the Forbidden Lands. The Forbidden Lands is a region that was split off from civilization over 1,000 years ago, thought to have been deserted all of this time. That is until they found Nata, passed out at the desert's edge. He was in bad shape after crossing miles and miles of uninhabitable desert. He calls out for his father Delirious, but at the time the survey team isn't able to understand him, saying that it's an ancient language. Nata's arrival is proof that the Forbidden Lands are not as deserted as they thought, prompting the Hunters Guild to reinvestigate the area. A few years pass since finding the young boy. Entry to the region was restricted for over 1,000 years. The only remnants of its ancient civilization rest solely in historical record. Nata claims to be part of a clan called the Keepers, living in this forbidden region. One day, a monster attacked his village and forced them to flee. Unfortunately, the tunnel he used to escape collapsed behind him. Many are still skeptical if his story is true. The only clue to this mystery is Nata's pendant, which is composed of a new, undiscovered material. So the guild has authorized the rescue of the Keepers and an investigation into the monster, nicknamed the White Wraith. You are selected as the lead hunter for this expedition, joined by Alma, your handler, Gemma, the blacksmith, the young man Nata himself, your Palico, and other members of the Hunters Guild. As you cross the desert, your party notices agitated monsters chasing after a young girl riding on top of a bird-like creature. The order is given to steer the ship to the young girl, but it's too slow and won't make it in time. Alma notices another bird creature with no rider lagging behind. Your hunter takes the opportunity to jump off onto the creature, take its reins, and follow the trail of monsters, leading to saving the young girl from a sand pit and a high-speed chase away from the remaining monsters. When you get near your ship, Gemma throws your weapon so that you can deal with the remaining pursuers. Nata is able to comfort the young girl as they speak the same language. The rumor of the area being uninhabited was proven instantly false by this girl's existence, but there isn't much time to rest, as the girl tells Nata that while she was being taught how to ride, her brother Yasai was attacked by a different monster. Yasai told his sister to run and stayed behind to distract it. You ask for Yasai's location, and she lets you know that the creature you rode, called a Sacred, has her brother's scent and should be able to lead you to him. Alma tells the others to take the children and set up camp, and she will join you to save Yasai. When you arrive, you witness Yasai and his Sacred being harassed by a Chautauqua. Yasai's Sacred is clearly wounded, stopping him from being able to escape, but thankfully, you're able to grab the monster's attention from the two of them. After defeating the monster, Yasai is able to mend his Sacred, and the two of you take him to camp and reunite him with his sister, Nona, both thanking you for your kindness. He explains how he got into the situation and then asks who you all are, pointing out your tool. Alma explains to him that back where they come from, specialists use these large tools to protect other people from large creatures, with the understanding that they are never to be used on others, and only those with special permissions are allowed to use them. Yasai expresses that it's all a bit over his head, but he's thankful you were there to save him. Alma asks if he knows anything about Nata's tribe, the Keepers. He says he's never heard of them, but maybe the elder of his village would know more. But when you get to the village gate, the guard thanks you for saving his friends, but tells your party that you've come at an inopportune time and turns you away. Alma agrees to not push the matter, and you both head back to camp on foot. On the way, she says she noticed that Yasai had no idea what a weapon was. Also, that the guards at the gate didn't carry any weapons either. She wonders how the villagers ward off monsters. On the path back, you avoid a large dog-like beast. Alma worries that it's hunting so close to the village. Back at the camp, You spend some time doing the rounds and gathering supplies, until you notice Alma just outside the camp talking to Nata. It seems as though she is outside waiting on the support team. She's worried something might have happened to them, as they're late. But as she's explaining, a signal flare goes off nearby, signifying someone from the Hunters Guild needs help. When you arrive, you find the support team being chased by a chemitress after their delicious giant slab of meat. You're not able to keep up with their speed, but that's when Yasai brings you and Alma a Cycrid to ride, giving you and your Palico the chance to catch up and get the monster's attention. After the monster is defeated and the support team party is safe at camp, Alma asks why Yasai came back. He says he figured that your team would need a Sacred as they explore the Forbidden Lands. He also wanted to formally invite you to their home, now that things have settled down a bit in the village. You follow Yasai back to his home, Kunafa, the Windsong village. When you arrive, your friends notice the particular sound coming from the chimes hung up top. Also, the village is bustling, and people seem like they're in a hurry. While Yasai prepares his home for guests, your party talks to the elder to get more information on Nata's village, but sadly, she's unable to help. She thanks you for helping Yasai and Nona, and explains that they wish they could be better hosts, but everyone is currently busy preparing for the Sandtide. She describes the Sandtide as a wild beast coming to life, bristling with lightning. She suggests you all find shelter once your business is concluded, and Alma thanks her for her time. Back at Yasai's home, their families prepared an incredible feast for you and your friends. You ask for more information about the Sandtide, and Yasai mentions it is quite an ordeal, but also explains that after the Sandtide, the wasteland outside is rejuvenated with life, and his people take in the bounty. You also mention the animal hunting near the village. Yasai calls them Doshaguma, and mentions that they've been encountering them a lot lately. Usually, they never venture out of the forest, but other than attacking livestock, they're in no real danger, as the gem chimes throughout the village make a noise that sounds very similar to a monster in the area that even the Doshaguma fear. Afterwards, your party makes plans to explore the nearby forest. When you arrive, another unit on the survey team is already setting up camp. Their team is composed of Captain Olivia, Athos, her Palico partner, Eric, the biologist, and Werner, the engineer. Alma lets the other team know that she wants to investigate the local Doshaguma, as they've been acting oddly as of late. Olivia agrees it's a good idea, and Eric says he knows a good spot to set up a smaller camp to conduct their investigation. But while everyone is searching for Doshaguma tracks, Eric goes missing, last seen following a trail of Lalabarina tracks. Your team quickly searches for the biologist, finding him incapacitated in the monster's lair. But with Olivia's help, she's able to unwrap Eric and run off with him, while you stay behind and fight the monster. After it's defeated, you head back to the main camp and meet up with the rest of the team. Eric thanks you both for saving his life. Alma is glad he's okay, and she says you and her are going to continue with the Doshiguma investigation. Olivia mentions now that Eric is okay, her team is going to continue searching for the White Wraith, asking if she can take care of Nata for a while, as he is the only person who's witnessed the monster. You tell Olivia that it's fine if it's what Nata wants, and he says he wants to help and not just sit around. When you get back to your investigation camp, you notice a gang of Linians are looting your tent. It seems that they're upset by your presence and ask that you follow them, taking one of Alma's prized historical artifacts as hostage. They take you to Plum Peach, their leader. The Linian calls themselves the Woodwoods, and this forest is their home. Alma tries to let them know that we mean no harm and ask for the camp back, but Plum Peach denies her, saying that they do not give back, claiming it and everything inside as tribute to the Woodwoods. But Plum Peach is willing to make a deal. Recently, a Kongolala has been harassing their honey gatherers, so in exchange for your camp, they want you to drive it away. When you find the Kongolala, you're interrupted by 3 Woodwoods trying to pick the monster's stylish pink fur for themselves, waking up the beast and denying you your moment of surprise. After it's defeated, Plum Peach gives you back your tiny house and grants permission for you and yours to explore the forest as you see fit. Alma asks about the Doshiguma, and you learn that there are too many of them in the forest now, and that they're led by their big kahuna. This worries Alma further, as with their numbers, monsters become emboldened, and even further with a strong leader. Her theory is proven further, as when you come upon your camp, you find it destroyed by a pack of Doshiguma, and their alpha leader, showing that they're no longer scared of humans. Your party heads back to Windsong Village to warn Yasai, telling him it's possible the Doshiguma may be headed this way. He believes you, but he thinks the elder will be impossible to convince. But if you convince the head guard Zato of the incoming danger, he'll be able to talk to the elder into evacuating the area. But when you find him, he's being harassed by a Balahara. After saving him, the two of you head back to the village to speak to the elder. Your friends are already in the process of trying to convince her when you arrive, but it doesn't seem like they're getting anywhere. Thankfully, Zato vouches for your team and she listens to his suggestions, but it's too late as screams begin to erupt outside of the tent. The Doshiguma are attacking the village, attracted to the livestock held inside. Gemma and Zato focus on guiding those evacuating, while you and Alma head towards the monsters. Once you find the alpha, you release the livestock as bait, guiding the Doshiguma back out the village. Once outside, you get the alpha's attention and have it chase you out into the desert sandstorm. The Doshiguma pack fall into quicksand, reducing their numbers, now only leaving you and the alpha to face off against each other. After it's defeated, the sandstorm ends and the wasteland bursts with new life.
Thank the winds you've returned. I've heard what you've done for us. And now the Doshiguma have moved on. Our livestock are unharmed. Our home saved.
Yes, but
What was broken can be mended. What truly matters is that the great season of plenty has arrived. And we can share in it together. At times, we don't have all the answers we think we do. But I hope you will accept our heartfelt gratitude.
Thank you.
Once you're done with the villagers, you head back to check in on Olivia's unit to see if they've made any progress on finding the White Wraith. Werner lets you know she went on ahead, following a lead she had. When you arrive, you find Olivia, Athos, and Eric pinned down by a giant monster. With your help, you're able to get Eric out of immediate danger and join Olivia and Athos in repelling the Uthjuna. Once it's driven off, you rejoin your team, but things aren't quiet for long. As you hear the monster crying out in pain some distance away, you head that way to witness the Uthjuna being killed by another monster. Nata's eyes grow wide and he is visibly shaking. He wishes it were all a dream, but now seeing it again, he knows the White Wraith is real. Nata lets Olivia know that this is their target, and she immediately springs into action. But she's too late, as the Wraith is already done with its prey and flies away. Nata looks conflicted and begins to shake and breathe heavily, but thankfully, Alma is able to snap him back into reality. Back at base camp, Eric summarizes what he found after studying the Uthjuna corpse. Whatever the Wraith did, it proved fatal to the monster, all without causing any real physical damage. Alma suggests talking to Plum Peach and the Woodwoods to see if they saw the White Wraith themselves. On the way, it's noticeable that the once gloomy forest is now bright, brilliant, and brimming with life, changing significantly after the large rainstorm that was present during the Uthjuna battle. The now very stylish Plum Peach explains as much, saying their land bursts with light and life after every rainstorm, but sadly they never spotted the White Wraith during this storm. Your meeting with the Woodwoods is interrupted when a caravan passes nearby, prompting the Woodwoods to collect tribooty for passing through their lands. Their caravan is led by Zato, on his way to another village beyond the forest to trade. He crossed paths with Olivia, who offered to join him on the road. Zato asks Nata to come with him, as the land they're headed to is rich in history and would be a perfect place to find answers. You all agree it's a good idea and head to Azus, the Everforge, a village focused on its craftsmanship, using monster parts, stone, and oil. You and your friends introduce yourselves to the leaders, and it seems as though you're arriving just before the Fire Spring Festival, a time when the locals ignite the Everforge at the village center. Zato has business with the Oilfolk chief and invites you and Nata along, as he has held the position for a long time and would be the best source of information. Meanwhile, everyone else explores the village and sets up camp. On the way, you notice a young girl and man running off after an argument. From talking to the old man, you learn more about the element Nata's pendant is composed of. Long ago, the population thrived using a similar material, giving them access to advanced technology. He believes the keepers are what remain of a tribe from an ancient age. Not to mention that his village is at the end of an underground tunnel, but it isn't much of a clue, as there are many tunnels in the area. But the chief promises to find a guide to help. While he does that, your party offers to help to find the two villagers who ran off, as they went to collect oil for the Fire Spring Festival. But currently, the area where they collect this oil is dangerous. At the gathering site, you find an abandoned barrel, clearly belonging to one of the two. As you investigate, a Rompopolo rises out from the muck. After clearing out the monster, you find the girl Maki and the boy Rakul hiding nearby. You then guide them back to the village where the Fire Spring Festival is about to start. But when the villagers try to get the forge going, they're met with nothing but smoke. Werner learns that there's a massive stone structure connecting through the land called the land spine. On this spine's damaged portions is where the villagers collect their stone to stoke the fire. Wilk. The same stone was used in Kunafa as well, but he believes that Wilk isn't just some ordinary fuel and it requires further investigation. As he heads off to fix the forge, a messenger from Kunafa arrives, asking Zato to return, as another sand tide has begun. Zato is surprised by the news, saying that it's impossible and too soon. He rides off back to his home, and Nata suggests that they should follow, having a hunch that the White Wraith is going to appear, as last time they saw it, it appeared during the rainstorm, so maybe it's moving to another storm. And at the center of the storm, you find the White Wraith battling another monster.
There it is. The White Wraith. Okay, but what's the other one?
From the look of it, that must be this region's apex predator. This could get ugly. We better keep our distance. Where we can observe from afar.
Nata!
You can't!
Why? Why did it attack us? Did we do something wrong? There must be a reason, right? You're a hunter. You've got a weapon, and you do nothing? Give it to me, and I'll... Why won't you let me go? I want to go home! Give me my village back!
Once the Wraith is done siphoning the elemental energy from the Ray Dao, it flies away, but the Ray Dao is revitalized by the surrounding sandstorm, attacking the nearby party. To prevent the monster from going berserk and destroying the village, you're assigned to take it down. After it's defeated, you head to your party and check in on them. Gemma found a piece of land spine, but it's currently glowing. She wonders where the land spine leads. But things are cut short when your Palico enters the room, notifying you that the sandstorm outside has died down, and at the same time, the land spine stops glowing. Gemma notifies Warner on her theory that the weather and land spine must be connected. He has his own theories, but nothing concrete yet. But he informs you that a guide has arrived to help you find the tunnel to Nata's home. Using the underground land spine as a landmark, Nata recognizes the tunnel and points towards the direction he came from. But unfortunately, further in, the way to his village is frozen over. Without a clear plan on what to do next, the party decides to find their way back to the surface. But while getting turned around in the underground tunnels, you bump into a very verbose Woodwood.
A Nursilla!
Now death greets me with a new mask. Or are you my salvation? So, what shall it be? Should I leave it to fate?
No! We're gonna save you! This is clearly a job for the guild.
squirm. I struggle. Ergo I am. Faced with death, I am finally, truly alive.
After saving him from the monster, the Woodwood introduces himself. His name is Rove, a humble Woodwood questing far from his home. For saving him, he offers to be your guide. On the way to the surface, your party reaches a cliffside, showing more of the area. The surrounding structures are clearly man-made, most likely from the civilization that lived here long ago. The sight makes Alma wonder what happened to their civilization and who the keepers are if they live nearby. Before you're able to look at the site any further, your party is attacked by 3 Hirabami. Being outnumbered and no real reason to hunt the monster, Rove leads everyone away to his hidden camp. At the camp, everyone takes time to reflect. Gemma thinks about her past and how she's no longer a child, thinking about the time she left home and those who took her in seemed larger than life. Now realizing that even adults can be just as lost as children. You talk to Alma and ask her why she put your name forward for this mission. She simply says she wanted someone who understood what it's like to lose something important, explaining that before Nata, she had closed herself off to the world. She was inspired by Nata's ability to still be captivated by the world, even though he lost everything he once knew. It made her realize that she should be out there living her life. They wanted someone they could trust Nata with, and with your hunter's background, Alma thought you were the best fit, describing how her heart almost burst out of her chest when she saw you leap into action to save Nona when you first arrived. When you speak to Nata, he apologizes for how he acted when the White Wraith attacked during the sandstorm. He says he feels stupid and he thought finding his village would be easy and that he could take you straight there. But in reality, he had no idea how big the world really was, and he feels useless that he's not able to show you the way. Your hunter consoles Nata by saying, in 1,000 years, there's only been one person resilient enough to trek west. Him. Despite being completely alone, he found help for his village. Around the campfire, Gemma goes over what they learned so far about the land spine, Wilk, and the weather phenomena, concluding that the land spine was man-made, and the Wilk stone it produces is an artificial energy that is capable of altering the weather. Now realizing that Werner is fixing the land spine, connecting to the Everforge, there's no telling what will happen if he fixes it. Gemma gets a bad feeling and now wants to head back to Azus as soon as possible, but the Hirabami are still patrolling nearby, and at the same time it seems as though Nata has come down with a fever and isn't doing very well, so Alma grants you permission to hunt the Hirabami. Once the path is clear, you thank Ro for his help and take Nata back to Azus, where he can get help. While he rests, you and Gemma head to the forge and confront Werner. Gemma fears that all this pent-up energy from the land spine being broken will get released all at once. She asks Werner to disable his repairs, but he refuses, saying that this is what the people want. It was broken, and now it's fixed. The Fire Spring Festival begins again, and it seems as though everything's working fine. That is, until suddenly the forge explodes with flame. This causes the local Ajakar ape monsters to go berserk and head towards the village. Gemma calms the panicking crowd and puts their heads together to find a solution, and they plan to fix a nearby out-of-commission forge and reroute some of the Everforge's energy. Meanwhile, you and Olivia head towards the village's entrance to fend off the attacking apes. Once they're repelled, you head back to see how the rerouting is going, but the Everforge is attacked by another pack of apes. Things look dire until a giant black oil monster creeps out from under the forge and handles the beast, then slithers off to an unknown location. The oil chief knows the monster as the Black Flame. When he was a child, he heard stories about the last time the Everforge produced this amount of flame, summoning a giant monster that wreaked havoc. The village chiefs are unsure what to do, but Alma offers your services to hunt the Black Flame. Once the monster is defeated and the Everforge's flames rerouted, the Fire Spring Festival goes off without a hitch. Once you say your thank yous and goodbyes to the villagers, everyone heads back to the desert camp to go over what all the teams have learned. In the Forbidden Lands, the pattern of seasons follow a cyclical rhythm: fallow, inclemency, and then the plenty. This rhythm is most likely controlled by the energy flowing through the land spine. The energy is called Wilk. It's very likely the White Wraith is absorbing the elemental energy these weather phenomenon produce. The next objective is to explore further into the Ice Shard Cliffs. Thankfully, the scouting unit noticed the pathways to Nata's village is clear. Most likely, the Fire Spring Festival melted the blockage. On the way, Nata expresses his excitement to see his uncle Tashin again. The party is also impressed, that Nata navigated this area all on his own. You reach the area where Nata was separated from his uncle, but that's when two Doshaguma looking beasts break through the wall fighting each other. One of them is victorious, and they soon set their sights on your party. After defeating and studying it, Alma confirms the monster is indeed a Doshaguma, but it has no reproductive organs, and its stomach and esophagus have atrophied. You personally noticed that during the battle, the monster was absorbing the Wilk energy from the land to revitalize itself. Gemma thinks that this is eerily like the White Wraith, but Alma concludes that this is currently speculation and that they should explore further. And up ahead, you find Nata's village.
Nata, is that you? Nata.
Tashin!
You're alive! Nata.
Did what you said. I stayed strong. You were right. About people. These are my friends. They helped me find my way back.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're from a land to the far west, beyond the desert. Brave Nata here crossed the sands on his own to look for help.
You made that trek alone?
Uh-huh.
I had no idea there were other people living so far away. Please, come with me. Let us rest and talk. No! Go! It's time to get inside!
No!
A Rathalos.
Please! You have to save him!
We will.
Take Nata to camp.
Got it!
After defeating the Rathalos, your party gets to introduce themselves. Tashin is surprised that there are those who are able to challenge monsters. He explains that he was friends with Nata's father and has been his caretaker ever since he passed away. After helping Nata escape, Tashin was knocked out, waking up several days later. Even more time passed before he's able to move again. After recovering, Tashin realized what an impossible task he sent Nata on, regretting that he ever made that choice. As none of his people have ever ventured outside for 1,000 years, he never imagined Nata would get as far as he did. After a heartwarming reunion with Nata and the rest of the village, Tashin confirms that your party's investigating the monster that attacked them. Nata asks if he knows what it is and why it attacked their village. Tashin tells him that the time has come to tell him about this land and its people's long history.
Beekeepers have carried on the traditions of this land for eons. Ages ago, it was known as the capital, Wyveria.
This was a city?
Yes. You passed through a massive structure to reach us, did you not? That is what remains of the Outer Bailey, the wall around the capital's vast expanse.
That's incredible.
Yes, the people of Wyveria had access to limitless energy that let them control nature at will. They built an advanced civilization and reached the height of prosperity. But Wyveria fell. Its people and civilization were lost, except for the traces that still remain today.
You mean traces like the tunnel Nata passed through?
That is a wormway, a path for energy to travel long distances. They continue to supply energy to every corner of the land. But to what effect it may have, we no longer know.
So then, that means Wilk was created here in Wyveria.
We live at the heart of Wyveria's energy production. Our people subsist on it.
It's incredible. I can't believe how versatile it is.
After the fall of Wyveria, the Keepers remained to hold vigil over its legacy. And our watch has continued since time immemorial.
What's this?
An archive of the city's research journals. Most of them are beyond our understanding.
Wait, then who are the Keepers?
We are the descendants of those who studied this limitless energy and applied it to usher Wyveria into an era of prosperity.
Researchers.
Yes, once. Now we are just people getting by.
That's fascinating. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, considering how handy they are with Welk, it does stand to reason.
Is that what you name it out there? Here we call it wyvern milk.
Where is wyvern milk produced?
Deep underground, in the heart of Wyveria, there is a shrine. It houses something we call the Dragon Torch, the source of all wyvern milk.
The Dragon Torch. What can you tell us about it?
Only that it has existed since the age of Wyveria. We know not how it works, nor how to control it.
The white monsters seemed fixated on wyvern milk. Do the Keepers know of any reason that might explain their behavior?
That you should see for yourselves. If I may, I'd like to show you there later.
Why is it that the Keepers haven't been outside for so long?
You see, Wyveria fell a millennium ago. Of those who survived, half of them left this land, and half of them stayed. Our ancestors were those who remained, the founders of this village, Sild.
But why? They could have gone anywhere.
It is said that all who lived in the capital helped it along its path to destruction. Our ancestors in particular played a crucial role in its demise. Staying was their way of taking responsibility to keep watch for the rest of time.
The rest of time?
What exactly did your ancestors do?
I intend to show you. I think it would be for the best.
Before Tashin leads you out of the camp, he reveals that the White Wraith is known as something called a Guardian, and its name is Arkveld. He explains as a title Guardian is used for monsters from an ancient age that serve people. Everyone questions what he means by serve, but Tashin says no more, and leads the party to the secret he wishes to show them.
You're not saying that...
Yes. Our ancestors succeeded in creating life. Creatures they called guardians. To this day, they hibernate in these cocoons.
You've gotta be kidding me.
They are the legacy passed on to us.
Seriously?
The Guardians were created with several unique properties. One, they don't eat. Wyveria's energy is their sole requirement to function. Thus, they have no need for predation.
That explains the behavior of the Doshagama and Rathalos we saw.
Two, they live indefinitely, and therefore have no need to reproduce.
They don't die of natural causes?
Not as long as they continue to consume the wyvern milk. Ever since Wyveria fell, the Guardians stayed dormant until recent years when they began to awaken. This place is rich in wyvern milk. They have all the sustenance they could ever need.
Yet Arkveld escaped to the outside world.
The Guardians were modeled after existing monsters, enhancing their traits. And it seems that Arkveld was singled out.
Because its species was extinct.
I don't know if that's the only reason, but yes, it was different. Arkveld awakened, attacked the village, and fled. Despite the loss of many lives, our only option is to continue watching over the Guardians still here. It is the destiny that we have inherited from...
Tashin, out there, I saw many things. Many people, creatures, all living life to the fullest. Life. Is that what you call this? Constructed husks that can't even eat? Locked away when they're no longer needed? Arkveld. All it wanted was to be free! And I don't know which of us is worse!
Nata. If things were different, you wouldn't have this unique perspective. But you do.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't take it out on you.
You really do take after your father. Nata, his role among our people was particularly important. That pendant has a very unique function. The energy of Wyveria. Come. You will see.
After driving off Arkveld, everyone regroups to talk about what they saw. Even though it doesn't need to, Arkveld is eating. As far as Tashin knows, no guardian in history has shown Arkveld's habits. He then brings up someone known as the All-Harken, an advisor to the Keepers that harkens information from far reaches and has amassed knowledge from history. She's located in a village called Suja, some distance away, but the path has been taken over a giant ferocious beast and an endless blizzard, but that doesn't dissuade you and your friends. With Rove and Olivia's help, preparations are made to cross the impossible path to the All-Harken. But unfortunately, while on the path, the giant monster returns to its lair, blocking your way. With Olivia and Athos' help, you're able to repel the monster just enough to make it to Suja, located high up in the mountains, unaffected by any of the weather phenomenon. And at the very top, your party meets with the All-Harken.
Welcome. I have been expecting you.
Are you the All-Harken?
The Keepers have been known to call me that, yes.
It's an honor to meet you. We've come to...
I know, child. I have already heard. So we meet at last, if I may. My word. How tired you must be. We will fight.
Wait! Please, tell me. I'm one of the Keepers. My name is Nata. There's a guardian that attacked our village. The one called Arkveld.
And you desire to know why it did this?
Yes. Why did it escape? Why did it start hunting?
Do you know why the Guardians came into existence?
Because the Keepers created them?
Come with me.
This was your capital, Wyveria.
In a time long before our reckoning, the people of Wyveria created the Dragon Torch, a source of limitless energy. They channeled this energy along the wormways, wielding its power in every corner of the land. At times, it was lightning to dispel monsters, or a heavy downpour to cleanse poisons discarded upon the land. It was fire to forge precious materials, and it negated the very weight of buildings so they could mount the sky. Nature's laws were no more than a suggestion to them. Their crowning achievement was the Guardians, a host of servile creatures to do their bidding. Wyveria's supremacy was beyond question.
If that's the case, how did such a glorious city come to ruin?
They invited calamity upon themselves. After the people were put to rout, the Guardians fell into a deep slumber.
But Arkveld woke up. What is Arkveld? What should the Keepers do? Please. My uncle said that you would have the answers.
Where that creature's transformation will end, even I cannot say. That must disappoint you. I am sorry. But even I cannot give you the perfect explanation you seek. You and I are the same. We live amongst a collection of brief moments. The world is changed by their influence. When all of these uncountable moments have passed, where will Arkveld be? Where will you? My role is to watch You feel responsible for this guardian?
Yes, I'm a keeper. No, that's not why. I want to know what will happen to Arkveld. If my friends are with me, we can learn and help.
If that is your choice, then go forth, child. Stand witness to how its existence unfolds. So much beauty. Everything is truly, truly beautiful.
Afterwards, everyone takes time to relax and explore Suja village. Before you leave, the All-Harkin treats you to a meal and lets you ask any remaining questions. It's revealed Wyveria fell after war came upon their gates. The Wyverians created a guardian to save them, but in the end, it destroyed everyone. The All-Harkin believes that guardian still lives, but she has no idea where it's located. You then come up with your next plan of action. To study more guardians to help with your investigation on Arkveld. You tell Tashina as much, and he agrees to take you to Wyveria's lower reaches. On the way, it's revealed that Nata's necklace is made up of a substance that can dissolve wyvern's milk, made up of higher purity and solidified. He warns the party that recently a guardian sentry has been seen patrolling the area and wishes you luck. After setting up camp, Alma goes over the team's goal, to survey the guardians in Wyveria's middle stratum. Hopefully, to help determine where in the lower stratum Arkveld is nesting and why. After investigating a pile of monster spore, you determine the guardian sentry is an Ojibgoran subspecies. Once the beast is defeated, the corpse is attacked and eaten by an unknown octopus-like monster. And after dealing with it as well, you gather your friends and talk about what you've learned. They're surprised to see a monster that specifically preys on guardians, knowing how and where to hunt its targets. Alma believes that the guardians have established themselves into Wyveria's ecosystem, including Arkveld. If it can prey and be preyed on, it's just like any other monster. You then make your way to the lower stratum of Wyveria, and on the way, Nata goes over his feelings. He believes that the guardians and keepers have been chained up by Wyveria's past. That is until Arkveld freed itself with its own strength, shattering those chains. Believing Arkveld didn't care how it was made, it just wanted to live and be free. Nata relates to the monster, saying this journey he's been on has made him something more, now no longer ignorant to life and the outside world. But as you get closer to the bottom, a sense of dread can be felt through the air.
Some are rotting. Some fresh.
Did it... all of them? Why?
This isn't predatory behavior. It's destructive. We can't let this go on.
There's no other way.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. Arkveld has become a threat to the continued existence of this ecosystem. It must be put down.
No! Please. Please!
Nata.
If anyone should be angry, it's me. And I hate that it happened. This is the first thing it ever got to decide for itself. To be free. To live strong. Please. Don't do this. I'm begging you.
It can't control itself.
The path we must take is clear.
For continued preservation of this ecosystem. The Guild authorizes you to slay the Guardian Arkveld.
Acknowledged.
No, please! There has to be another way! It finally got its chance to live!
After Arkveld is defeated, Nata takes the time to do a prayer for the monster. Your Palico wonders why the monster was hiding down here after all, and Alma believes this location must be near the Dragon Torch, as Arkveld was attracted to large amounts of energy. Nata wants to move forward, as the Dragon Torch is the last piece of the puzzle. After exploring Arkveld's lair, your team finds the entrance to the Dragon Torch. But inside, it's very clear that a guardian is cocooned at its center, siphoning the land's energy. You head back to Suja village to talk with all Harkin and Tashin. The monster at the center of the Dragon Torch is known as Zo-Shia, the same monster that destroyed the Wyverian civilization many years ago. The Keepers thought the monster fell dormant, but this whole time it's been drawing power from the Dragon Torch. Livia and Tashin agree the monster can't be left alone. Tashin believes that if they cut off the power from the Dragon Torch, the monster will perish, but that will have a significant effect on the region's ecosystem. He then reveals that Nata's pendant is the key, as it was his father's role to shut down the Dragon Torch in a time of crisis. Everyone is split on how to proceed. There are those who wish to preserve the Dragon Torch and study it, while others wish to destroy it, stopping the monster and saving as many lives as possible. But even then, they have no idea what may happen to the region. Nata speaks up, and he wishes to destroy the Dragon Torch, as he believes it's what his father would have wanted. You and your friends join Nata on the journey back to the Dragon Torch, and on the way, everyone reflects on the journey so far. Nata thinks about everything he's seen and learned, and the friends and foes he made along the way. He truly knew nothing before meeting the party. He then vows that today is the day Keeper's mission ends. When you arrive, Nata prepares to shut down the Dragon Torch, but your hunter could see his hesitation, as this choice may irreversibly change the Forbidden Lands forever. You grab him by the shoulder and tell him there is one more option: to challenge a monster that wiped out a civilization. You take your dagger and break its cocoon, then prepare to face the man-made weapon equal to dragons, Zo-Shia.
Tashin! Tashin!
My boy! Against all odds, you found another way. You hunters are incredible. You chose a path that we never could.
Tashin, we can choose. Arkveld chose too. It found its own way to live. So did the other Guardians. And now, it's time for the Keepers to step away from duty and truly live.
Thank you. For everything.
So they found the Keeper's village and unraveled the mystery of the White Wraith. They even managed to see the boy home safe. Truly impressive. However, to learn that it was artificial life.
The Guardian Arkveld scoured the land for a more lucrative energy source. By absorbing the properties of those sources, it was able to achieve a higher state of living.
Unfortunately, after learning predation, it became unable to control its intake of wyvern milk. Intoxicated by the surplus of energy, it descended into madness. These were the findings of the expedition.
Yes, sir.
It's Arkveld's.
The will to live always finds a way. From one generation to the next.